Welcome back and thank you for staying with Checkpoint. We continue to inform you about the latest developments. Right now, we just want to have a conversation touching on the latest developments that are playing out in the country. Because in less than 48 hours, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's political career will lie in the hands of members of parliament. With the impeachment talk taking center stage at the national level, what exactly is the cost of this whole political talk, this whole political conversation? What's the cost when it comes to service delivery? Does constant politicking negatively affect service delivery? We just want to have this conversation with Joshua Wambua, who's joining us in studio. He is the chairperson of the Institute, equally a governance and leadership expert. Wambua, karibu sana to the show. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, straight to it. Let's start the conversation now. 2 years into this administration, and we're already seeing an impeachment is in the offing. Let's start there.
Well, let me begin by saying that as a citizen, I know very little about it, just like anyone else does. And I think there's an element of, politics which are very difficult for some of us who are called the unsuspecting public to get into those sharp corners where political gymnastics take place. And I would like to, speak from a point of view of governance. We know that, for example, where leadership is, at times people can differ. And even in the church, leave alone our be found anywhere. Okay. Even in the professional associations that we are serving. Because for me, for example, today, I am occupying the space of a professional body. And those differences, they are healthy to some extent, so that they help us in seeing, different views of the same situation, where you may not be able to see, I can see. Okay. And therefore, when they are healthy, to a certain extent, that is good, because we check each other as leaders. But of course, when they exceed the benefits that would be from an institutional and a governance point of view, they worry.
So is this healthy or unhealthy?
They worry people. And before we go to that, I think the other point which I would like to observe is that, of course, one of the sciences which is very difficult to appreciate and understand, I think, is a political science. And those of us who are, who have been in this country for quite a while, we have seen it. It is not yesterday, it's not last year, it's not just 5 years ago. Politics have got sharp corners, and I want to call them sharp corners very deliberately, because I have seen those sharp corners. When you think you are, running, you find that the course has changed. Okay. And before you adjust, maybe you find yourself on your own. Yeah, sometimes we call them political gymnastics. You find that you have been facing someone, you have been thinking that you are moving in the same direction, you are talking face to face. The next moment is a different story.
So from a governance point of view, is this healthy or unhealthy? What do you make of the push and pull in the presidency?
I think reading from what we are seeing from, the public arena, it could be getting to a difficult situation.
Okay.
Yes. to a difficult situation. That's how I would put it.
So there's some who seem to think that the timing of this impeachment is suspicious. There are those who think that the impeachment plot is more or less a diversionary tactic from the real issues at hand. So much is happening in the country. Transition from NHIF to SHA. We just had the Gen Z protests recently agitating for better governance, accountability, and service delivery. Well, what do you make of this impeachment? Is it a ruse to shift focus from the key issues of national concern? Do you find the timing suspicious? Give us your take from a governance point of view.
I may not be able to give a very good answer because, one, I am not a political scientist. Let me mention that.
Yes.
But of course, everyone sees our country as at a stage where we are undergoing a lot of transformation. And I think this started probably a while ago, but maybe we are coming to the climax. You remember the stories of BBI. And now the most recent case is that one of the youth. We have been speaking about the youth for quite a long time, making promises, all of us, at whatever institutional level, telling them that they are the guys of the future, you know, and this future is never arriving. Even myself, when I was in the youth level, we were promised. And I kept on saying, I'm waiting for my time.
I think you're not still waiting.
Yes, we're still waiting.
Okay.
But now, I think it's a major issue. One cannot sweep it under the carpet. And I think our country is really undergoing transformation. And this transformation is not going to be very sweet to anybody. Either from a political point of view, from even from a legal point of view, from a legislative point of view. Remember that of late we've been having laws which have been passed by the National Assembly and they have been contested. The element of public participation, who knew that it could become an issue? This transformation, in my view, is not sparing the judiciary, is not sparing the executive, neither is it sparing the legislature. Even the church, I still want to refer back to the church where we normally go there very humbly and keep quiet to be told what is right and what is wrong, and then you can go home interpreting it in your own way. It's a different game ball altogether. And therefore, from a governance point of view, we can see some of the elements of governance coming into play. For instance, there are those elements which we say are the elements of governance. Governance is not just about governance, good governance. What are they? Number one, you need to have a vision if you want to govern well. Number two, you need to convince people, you must be capable of communicating with people and telling them the direction you are moving. Number three, public participation, where you come and map all the stakeholders that you work with, who normally impact on you and you also impact on them. So that anytime you are introducing a change, anytime you are proposing something, you must have a discussion. This is the kind of direction that the whole globe is taking. That you must involve them, you must talk to them. You may not convince them 100%, but you need to convince majority of them so that you can be able to move on.
Okay, and you did mention that, you know, the public needs to be involved. The public needs to know the vision. But let's just take a look at the protest that you talked about. The youth were advocating for what? Good governance, corruption to be dealt with, tribalism to be dealt with. That is exactly what we are seeing happening, being swept under the carpet, right? So then, from that perspective, and looking at it from a governance point of view, is it wrong for a number two to ask the president to, you know, bring the house to order?
I would like to avoid, you know, the question of the number one and the number two. The number one being the His Excellency the President, number two being the His Excellency the Deputy President. I think let's keep away the names. And if we can deal with the perspectives rather than the personalities, I think that would be that would be good enough. And I want to say this. There are what we call board dynamics from a corporate governance point of view, from a good governance point of view. Every board has a chair. Every board has members of the board. You need to have some element of congruence more than the disharmony. The moment the disharmony sets in, then there will be chaos. And when this chaos happens, then the service delivery will be affected negatively, we like it or not. And therefore, the leaders should find a way of discussing whatever issues there are, and then agree on the way forward. In any event, they are trustees of the unsuspecting public. I still want to call them the unsuspecting public, the innocent person. The innocent person is expecting roads to be made. They are expecting hospitals to be equipped with medicine. They are expecting water to be provided, clean water, education. Those are the kind of things they are expecting, and a performing economy. And if we don't get the political science correct, then all the other sciences are likely to be affected negatively. Thank you.
Interesting. So, and I just want to raise or perhaps expound what you've just mentioned, because at the end of the day, that unsuspecting public is the one who votes in leaders. And they say the leaders are a true reflection of the society we deal with currently. We have instances where the society itself puts upon certain conditions, certain expectations on the leaders, and that perhaps does not serve governance in a beneficial point of view when it comes to asking for, bribes and that culture of mtu wetu. At the end of the day, we see leaders, once the political heat goes up, they run to their regional cocoons and try and spur this, this sentimentality, that we shame and, wananipiga vita mimi, in extension, they're fighting you from our region. How do we change this culture so that perhaps going forward, certain expectations aren't put upon leaders, hence putting them in positions where they might, put their hands in the cookie jar, and equally, at the end of the day, because we need a culture change in our politics, in our governance, how do we make sure that is inculcated perhaps before 2027?
Well, I think one of the ways of getting the public to play their role in a qualitative manner,
yes,
so that it's not a question of I have offered myself for election and then they are electing me simply because I have got influence over them using resources, which resources they might not even know how I got it, and so on and so forth. I think it's civic education. Our people need to realize that when it comes to elections, it's a matter of life and death. Indeed it is. So that they can separate the person who buys them a cup of tea and mandazi from a true leader, and give a vote to the person who is supposed to be a true leader. And God help them. Because sometimes you can elect someone thinking that they are going to do well, and then they perform dismally poor.
Okay.
I mean poorly. So I think civic education is number one. And I think, again, naturally, this country is changing because of the information highway that we have. With the telephony, almost everyone is connected. so that information is shared as quickly as possible, so that there is nobody who has got the monopoly on information, and nobody can be able to stop whether good news or bad news from reaching everyone. That alone is also creating a generation that will be well informed and can be able to make good decisions, holding all other factors constant. And I think the other thing I could mention is that
as we finalize, yes.
Yes, we have got a very now we have got an educated population. It is not like before. And I think we should be telling our leaders and telling ourselves that the game is no longer the same anymore. I think in the years to come, we are going to see a major difference, not only from the Gen Zs, but even from us who are senior members of, who have got some number of years and we have eaten a bit of salt. Okay. The information gap is no more. The information is with us, and it cannot be controlled. You cannot change it, because everyone has become a member of press. Every citizen has become a member of press.
True.
Thank you.
And they say information is power.
Exactly.
Right, Ashi?
Oh, definitely. Well, that's how we wrap things up in terms of that conversation. Thank you so much, Joshua Wambua, governance and leadership expert, and equally from ICS, right, Jesse?
Definitely is the chairperson of the Institute of Certified Secretaries. And this is definitely a conversation we need to have, bearing in mind whatever's going on in the country. The service delivery take the back seat once the political guns come out. Well, trust us to keep you updated on the latest developments.